And you are seeing some of those thruster firings on board Dragon. Again, this burn is using the Draco thrusters,
Dragon
and that burn did
SpaceX
just
on the big
complete
loop,
and all went
departure burn
smoothly.
1 nominal, and all Dragon systems look healthy, good on dock. At this time, you are go to DOF suits in 4.012, and finally a reminder that the big loop will be deactivated following Dragon's exit from the approach ellipsoid.
Dragon copies, go for suit DOF suit.
And with that call out of a successful departure burn 1, the crew now has the go to get out of their spacesuits and get comfortable for the 12-hour journey until splashdown. Continuing to get some views. Continuing to get some views of Freedom as it backs away from the International Space Station. And we just got word that Dragon has exited the keep out sphere. Again, that's imaginary sphere. It's that imaginary sphere 200 meters in radius around the International Space Station. And on your screen here, as you continue to see Freedom back away, you're actually able to see those windows on the vehicle and can kind of make out the crew inside as they continue to get smaller and smaller, making their way back home.
Dragon copies. The next major milestone that we are tracking this morning is when Dragon exits the approach ellipsoid, or AE. This is another imaginary shape. It's a three-dimensional ellipsoid measuring 4 kilometers by 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers. It's in the same family as the keep-out sphere. One of the key differences with the approach ellipsoid is that vehicles outside it have to be on what we call a 24-hour safe free drift trajectory. And we're getting some really great views of Dragon here as it continues to undock from the International Space Station. You can see the nose cone is open and the trunk is attached. Before splashdown, the nose cone will close and that trunk will be deorbited.
We've got a computer restart.
I'm going to reconfigure the RCS.
We've got a
the way these things fire doesn't make any sense.
We've got multiple caution and warning, Houston. We've got to reset and restart.
All right, I'm going to SBS.
And with everything continuing to go smoothly here in Mission Control Houston, we are waiting for Dragon to exit that approach ellipsoid following the on-time undocking this morning at 10:05 a.m. Central Time. Dragon has completed a series of burns to back it away from the International Space Station, and again, everything going A-OK this morning here in Mission Control Houston. So I'm going to toss it over to Hawthorne to give us an update, and so they can share a little bit about what it was like to see undocking from their perspective.
Awesome. Thank you, Sandra. If you're just now joining us, you are watching the undocking of the Dragon Freedom vehicle carrying the AX-2 crew members as they make their way back down home to Earth. And just as Dragon fully autonomously flew to the International Space Station, it is fully autonomously flying them back down to Earth as well. So all these maneuvers that you're seeing are fully autonomous, and we have completed a few burns. Once the vehicle is out of the keep out sphere, then it can perform its deorbit burn and make its way back down to Earth. So what you can expect as Dragon returns is the trunk will be jettisoned. Once we jettison the trunk, then the vehicle can reorient itself for making its way back into the Earth's atmosphere, and then the drogue and main parachutes will deploy, and the crew will safely touch down in the ocean off the coast of Florida. Now, just as a reminder, this is the second flight for this Dragon, specifically Dragon Freedom, and it first flew on Crew 4 in April in 2022. This is also the 10th human spaceflight mission in the last 3 years.
Wow, exciting stuff. Well, and for Axiom Space, these missions serve as a precursor in developing the teams, systems, and relationships necessary to operate our own Axiom station currently under construction. For Peggy Whitson, John Schaffner, and Saudi national astronauts Ali Al-Karni and Rayana Barnawi, this has been an incredibly successful mission. As the second private mission to the International Space Station, Axiom-2 is also an important step for Axiom Space and its academic and industrial partners to perform proof-of-concept studies and cutting-edge advancements in microgravity. During their time on the orbiting laboratory, the AX-2 astronauts successfully executed over 20 STEAM outreach engagements and 20 different microgravity experiments, as well as 8 media events. They utilized novel technologies on orbit that could be used for future human spaceflight pursuits and benefit humankind on Earth. Returning with them in the SpaceX Dragon Freedom is more than 300 pounds of cargo and important data that will impact our understanding of human physiology on Earth and on orbit. And beyond all that, they also had a few moments to take in a view unlike any found on Earth, looking at the planet from 250 miles above it. So for more details on the incredible work performed by this crew and on orbit, check out the axiomspace.com/AX2 research website.
It's that imaginary sphere. It's that imaginary sphere. It's that imaginary sphere. It's that imaginary sphere. It's that imaginary.
Astronomers have discovered a rare planet twice the size of Earth that may be entirely covered by an ocean. TOI 733b is an exoplanet that lies around 245 light-years away from Earth. And most importantly, why is the discovery of this exoplanet so critical to astronomy? mini Neptunes, which are larger than super Earths but smaller than gas giants.
Now let me speak for all niggas when I say what the fuck. Here's a goddamn super Earth. We thought this motherfucker was super the whole goddamn time.
It's science fiction. It's science fiction. It's science fiction. It's science fiction.
It's all bullshit, folks. It's all bullshit, and it's bad for you. Now, you wouldn't know it from some of the things I've said over the years, but I like people. I do. I like people, but I like them in short bursts. I don't like people for extended periods of time. I'm all right with them for a little while, but once you get up past around minute and a half, I got to get the fuck out of there. And my reason for this, my reason is for one that you may share, possibly. I have a very low tolerance level for stupid bullshit. That's all. Stupid bullshit. You know? Tell the truth. Don't be bullshitting people. Like I say, there's enough bullshit as it is. There's enough bullshit as it is. In fact, there's just enough. Did you know that? There's just enough bullshit to hold things together in this country. Bullshit is the glue that binds us as a nation. Where would we be without our safe, familiar American bullshit? Land of the free, home of the brave, the American dream. All men are equal, justice is blind, the press is free, your vote counts.